right. Well, where would you like to start on this last week of fun that we've had?
Ugh, love.
Um, I mean, there's so much, but
I don't even know. So much, and it's again, this is all by design. It's part of the whole
mhm,
process for them.
mhm,
But
mhm,
just flooding the zone, Gish Gallop, that all of that, just
yeah.
being over to overload your adversaries, which is a lot more effective when you essentially have the media in your back pocket,
Well,
right? Almost
let's
entirely.
almost entirely slowly leaning on them to be even more in the pocket. And,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
outside of just the news media and being able to limit the access for reporters and things like that and strong arm news media, but also entertainment media as well. I don't know. I think here's where
I
we
think
should start.
the next step is actually following through on, canceling broadcast licensing,
Yeah.
and, that I think will be their next, deflection, distraction ploy.
Okay,
'Cause
so
it's something they
that's
wanna do anyway. It's something they wanna do anyway, and it would be a very strong distraction from anything negative that would be happening.
here's the problem.
Although, I mean, we might be on the downward slope from Epstein entirely.
I don't okay, couple things on that. One,
So,
I
yeah.
don't think we're on the downward slope from the Epstein stuff because of Kash Patel and his time in front of Congress, which I definitely want to spend a little time on. But before
Oh,
that,
goodness, yeah. Goodness, yeah.
um, before that, the removal of the broadcast licensing, I'm not going to say that they won't do it because that's just an insane thing to say about this administration. It's just ridiculous to act as though anybody
But
could
it's nowhere
conceive what
near
the
outside the
limitations
realm of
are.
possibility, is it?
It's
It's still very
yeah, no,
plausible.
that's yeah, but absolutely, that's why yeah. It's still definitely like it's that, and also you'd be a fool to try to imagine any limitations on the behavior of this administration. You'd just be an idiot to try to
Yep.
lay some claim as to what lows they won't stoop to. But
Yeah, there is
um,
no red line.
I mean, they're literally murdering people in international waters right now. But whatever, without due process, people that are not enemy combatants. But yeah,
Do what
whatever,
now? We don't
Uh,
even use due process on our own citizens. Fuck no.
yeah, no, fuck that shit. But no, I think it's something that they want to keep as a threat as a nuclear option. Once you do it, it actually could potentially get less potent as time goes on because it actually invites a specific kind of legal challenge that I don't think they want. When you have things like these mergers going on in the background of NBC, which led to Colbert's cancellation, and now ABC, which led to Kimmel's suspension, it seems to me like they want to maintain this plausible deniability of we're going to critique you from a place of strength in the administration, but it's a private decision that you did that. And our critique is going to imply that we might not allow your multi-billion dollar merger to go through with if you're ABC with I think it's Nexstar.
Next
Uh
star, yeah.
yeah. But it's implied there, but we're not gonna say it overtly. It's going to be understood.
Oh,
And
goodness, no,
it
but it's
that's
fucking mob tactics. Like, of course, it never has to
even
be
even
said
fucking
directly,
Ted
but
Cruz,
Jesus
even
Christ.
even fucking Ted Cruz, I guess, has been
Yeah,
watching
Ted
The
Cruz could figure
Sopranos
it
the
out.
last month or so, even called it fucking mafia tactics. Like, even that
Well, I think
dumbass
you
has
nailed
been
it. I think Ted Cruz just like binged The Sopranos with his wife, and now he's found his new little angle to pretend
I
to be a
think Ted
mavericky or
Cruz
something. I don't know.
I think Ted Cruz started watched it for a few episodes, and then the first time Tony Soprano was not kind to the FBI, he got disgusted. He threw up in his mouth, and he hasn't been able to bring himself to watch it ever since. He has Tony Soprano as
No, that
panic
would
attacks when
imply
he
that
thinks
he
about it.
has some genuine sense of morals that would trigger that instinct in. Ted
Uh,
Cruz has Ted Cruz has programming to resemble human morality, but Ted Cruz does not have genuine human morality or emotions. Like,
I mean, in some ways, I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, like, you don't have to like. you shouldn't like the FBI when you watch The Sopranos. Like, you should actually
Well,
kind of
no, 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 no,
root
no.
for Tony there, and
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Sopranos is one of those shows where everyone sucks here.
Which is pretty fucking close to real life too. I mean, the world exists in shades of gray. There's bad guys on the good guys and good guys on the bad guys, and like nothing in this life is as simple and straightforward as we'd all like for it to be. Which though, like that is the bread and butter of the whole conservative mentality,
Mhm, mhm,
whether you take that back to the religious aspects or political, like it all feeds into this notion of and it just wouldn't make sense. Like their idea of simple, straightforward, easy answer. Like
mhm, mhm,
you're just gonna
mhm,
take that bird in the hand answer every time. Like,
mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah, it's respond to force with force, respond to violence with violence. It's eye for an eye, which is super simple all the way down when it comes to when they're
yeah,
aggrieved. And in their victory, they will flaunt it. They don't care about having empathy for anybody on the other side of an issue, for anybody that thinks differently than them. It is
that's a
all about
fucking dirty
showing
word
how
now.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I mean, Charlie Kirk said it best, man. It is a
Yeah,
made up new age term that has done irreparable damage to our society.
exactly. You shouldn't be flinging around a word like that on our show, sir. Like, what do you want people to think of us? Won't someone
Yeah,
think of the children?
it you know,
Wait, no, don't
that's
do that because that would be using empathy.
uh,
I did it.
but at the same time, you definitely wanna think of the children. You wanna think of the unborn children,
Ooh,
and then you wanna forget
yeah,
about them for a few years, and then you wanna
those are a
remember
powerful
them.
wedge issue. I do want to think about those.
You gotta think about them, and then you gotta think about the kids again right as they're about to get into college, because you're really worried about them getting into a liberal college that the second they walk into it, they're going to turn into an Antifa super soldier, which we all know now Antifa is a terrorist organization. And
Yeah,
they're
and that's why
gonna
you as a good conservative person have to mold them, sometimes sexually into a proper upstanding conservative person.
oh
Like,
god.
that's how you keep that cycle going.
Yeah. No, and really,
I'd love to be
can you
wrong there, but
listen, can you argue with results? Because I don't know if you've seen the approval ratings recently, but they're
Christ, you're
winning.
not wrong.
They're winning. Like, literally approval ratings, from, September 15th, Republican favorability. This is the real clear polling average. So this is an aggregate from several different polls, including The Economist and other sources. Republican favorability 55 to 42% unfavorable. So 55% unfavorable. But Democratic,
Yeah, they're underwater
they're
by,
underwater by a chunk. Like, that is a meaningful amount, but
what
still
was the number again? I'm sorry.
55 to 42, 42%
Okay,
favorable,
okay.
55 unfavorable. The Democratic Party, the same time period,
Probably
September
faking way
15th,
worse.
real clear. 61 to 34 unfavorable. 61% unfavorable for the Democratic Party. And Chuck Schumer's
Because
out there talking about let's fucking make a deal on continuing
fuck
funding
Chuck
for
Schumer
the
so
government.
fucking hard. God
He's
damn it.
just he has
And it's because
negative
these
political
people I
instinct.
consider myself one of these people, and I share that view that the Democratic Party is fucking stupid right now, by and
Mhm,
large, with the exception of a few wonderful people that are fighting the good fight.
mhm,
Uh, but I should be their constituent, and I agree that they are terrible right now.
mhm, mhm,
But because we examine our own objectively like that.
mhm,
I'm not going to ideologically go along with the Democratic Party or a particular politician or anyone for that matter just because they're the person on my team that I'm supposed to follow. Like, I'm going to scrutinize your actions, your behavior, and that leads me to be angry at fuck as fuck that you, Chuck Schumer, and the majority of the Democratic leadership, all the Democratic leadership.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna be fucking mad at you. So that I get that people that should be positively responding for them are negatively responding.
Yeah, well, yeah, like, ostensibly should be, but again, like, yeah, there are people
'Cause I'm
that
as liberal as the day is long for this part of the world, especially for a fucking white dude from Middle America.
yeah, I mean, like, they they seem to wanna lean on a few things. There's, like, this constant adherence to, hoping that by maintaining, like, a seat of power, that itself is enough power to sway things, as opposed to winning an
Mhm.
election, meaning that you can use your now gained power to do things. It is for
Yep,
some
yep.
reason Chuck Schumer and these other fucking establishment mainstream, Democratic Party leadership assholes seem to conduct themselves as though just having the position is the power itself. That's the strength.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not about rallying your constituents under a clear message and using them to guide like local news and things like
Oh,
that to
heavens, no,
build
you don't do things
momentum
like
for a
that.
cause and yourself bringing a vote to Congress for a cause for your constituency. It's not about that. That is not the power. It is the status. Somehow by being
Yes, and the
like
decorum, it's maintaining the
mm,
decorum and the function. It's like the way Dianne Feinstein was, looking at, things at the end there, like, I can't
yeah.
remember, there was a bill like, the Democrats took a heavy well, loss on something, and she was out there just applauding it, and, like, talking about, "Alright, well, yeah, we did the thing, and everybody went through the process, and it was fair a clean, bill." I'm like,
Listen, I think it's a good thing that we don't have members of Congress hitting each other in the head with canes and fighting until they're bloody, sure. But I also don't want to see these motherfuckers line up and shake hands and slap ass like it's the end of a fucking
yeah.
intramural soccer game. Like it's not fucking
Exactly,
beer
there's
league,
important shit at stake here, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah,
just
it's
that's what I'm saying, like, on in that particular instance, that was just her being 8 zillion years old, and her brain
mhm.
is pudding, and, like, that was just her mindset of, "This equals did a good job," like,
Oh wait, are you talking about
we
Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Oh, sorry, you're talking about Dianne Feinstein. My bad.
yeah, there's a few names I could accidentally, slip in there, but,
Nancy Pelosi, that's who you meant, right? You meant Nancy Pelosi, right?
oh, god, yeah, it was that one. It was one
Yeah, yeah.
jeez. Although, I will say Nancy's still a shrewd I think she's probably still sharp as a tack.
Yeah, but like
Although that
another
isn't in no way
person
saying
that
she
is
should be in that position at all by any measure whatsoever.
yeah, another person that is
Asterisk, asterisk.
woefully ill-equipped for the moment. I mean, just not at all prepared for what we are seeing.
Not wanting it. I don't think she I don't know. I'm not gonna try and paint somebody with a completely broad brush like that
Mhm.
again. There's good and bad and greedy and genuine in most, if not all, of these people. But
Yeah, I mean, sure, yeah, and like even like Nancy, like
we all contain multitudes, you know.
the shrewdest, most narrow operators definitely still, um, they are
They
still
have things that still
for
trigger them
sure, right?
emotionally because they're still
Yeah, yeah,
people.
yeah. They're still people, but like at the same time, these people can be bought and paid for. Like, and in my mind,
Good, so
personally,
easily, shockingly easily.
in my mind, anytime you have a situation where you can't tell the difference between somebody failing because it's hard or somebody like the environment was against them, they lost due to a strong opponent, whatever. When you can't tell the difference between somebody failing and somebody giving up, when you can't tell the difference there's a fucking problem. And there's a passivity in the way that a lot of Democratic leadership tries to put forth their position on anything and tries to stake any political ground, and that
100%.
they're constantly seeding it. Really is the case. They're the ones that are
Yeah,
constantly on the
we're
move.
we're obeying decorum to everyone's detriment. We're
Mm.
obeying decorum to the death of democracy. Like, there's never been moments to use what power you have to fight back and throw sand in the gears and hold
I
the
mean,
line and maintain. But
dude, okay, so I've got
I don't
I've
know.
got a really good example of this, and it's from this is sourced from a David Dayen interview I watched. David Dayen is a reporter, works for the American Prospect. He's been around on several podcasts and things like that I've enjoyed. I
Okay,
like David
okay.
Dayen a lot, but basically, um, last time we had a budget fight, Schumer caved like a bitch. I mean, just straight up caved, gave
Oh
nothing,
yeah,
gained nothing for Democrats, and gave the Republicans votes,
he
and
probably
that
gained
is.
something for Israel though. Like,
uh, I mean,
Israel probably came out ahead in that bill, so it's a win for Chuck.
probably, but it is a big win for Chuck and the Baileys that he's so enamored with. But uh, Chuck he basically he gained nothing, and of course now, like, the concern at the time with the big beautiful bill, and with earlier budget fights, the concern was that if we defund the government, if we don't pass these budget bills, that Donald Trump is going to erode these agencies because he's going to
Because
divert
that was
money.
what was
Well,
stopping him. What?
yeah, exactly. Like, and
Oh. Okay, never
so
mind. He took care of that for you. Issues off the table. Fucking now, pull your thumbs out of your ass and do something.
right, it and so now, like, FEMA, CFPB, USAID, like there's so many things that are just like already defunded, already debunked. Like, they're basically gone. Like, even like the Park
Public
Service, like
broadcasting.
public
Public
broadcasting,
broadcasting is clinging to life.
right? Like all this shit defunded, cut, stripped down to nothing. If anything, if anything at all, they've got bare essential personnel to pretend like it is an actual agency, not one that actually can do any work. Um, and
But
so now it's
it's
time
important.
for
Excuse
I was saying now
me.
it's time for Chuck Schumer to say, well, I lost that one, guys. That was a humdinger of a battle. We really fought
Oh
hard for it, but
shucks.
this time around, I'm gonna I'm gonna hold true. We're not gonna vote. We're not gonna vote for their budget. But
Oh,
there is a
what?
problem.
Uh-oh.
There is a one. Chuck Schumer just, again, wants to just very shrewdly maintain his position. So he will work with Republicans. Uh, and two, there in the Inflation Reduction Act, Democrats created subsidies for the Affordable Care Act, and these subsidies for the Affordable Care Act exchanges basically kind of smoothed out uh, what are generally seen as cliffs, where people like suddenly don't get any assistance with funding for the
Yeah,
Affordable
yeah.
Care Act when they because of their particular income level, they're in an in between state in the means
Yeah, you can
tested
find yourself in these weird
subsidies.
donut hole
Mm.
areas, and that's
Right. Yeah,
always been
exactly.
an issue.
And so it means to close these donut holes a little bit. But the subsidies expire at the end of 2025, and those could potentially be on the table for this budget fight. And the idea here is that Republicans probably the idea that David Dayen goes on to explain is that Republicans really fucking need these subsidies to stay in place, because they can't be seen as voting for the continuation of a budget that doesn't include these subsidies that could potentially, if they're removed, could lead to 5 million people immediately, like overnight, 5 million people not being able to afford coverage through the ACA exchanges. And 5 million
Mhm.
people that are immediately no longer customers in the insurance market is going to drive rates up more, which is going to disenfranchise more people because of their economic status. And
It's gonna
and
cut
and
down
on
on
and
the
on.
customers that come to medical, establishments, and,
Mhm.
like, all of those are gonna suffer, like,
Yes.
I mean, 'cause these systems are all connected, so it doesn't matter whether it's the big hospital with the emergency unit and level 1 trauma center here with satellite over here and little boutique, operations spread around.
Mm.
Like, all the parts of that are gonna suffer because the
Yeah.
collective is gonna there's about to be a ton of economic strain. And tie that in with, the executive order that we just signed making the H-1B1 visa go from what did that go from? It went from 5,000
I think it was,
to
yeah, 5 or maybe 10
5,000 to
to 100,000.
it was did it go to 50 or 500 though? It was something
I think it was
ridiculous.
$100,000.
5,000 to 100,000?
I think that is correct. Either way, it's an
An
increase
insane amount. It's a
that is obviously extortion. I mean, like, it's
But it's
like
gonna decimate the
economic
medical
extortion.
industry. There are
Mm,
so many people from other countries here. It's a huge portion of our medical workforce, especially, doctor pipelines,
mhm, mhm,
that's gonna be a huge brain drain.
mm. Yeah,
And that's gonna further destroy the American university system, which has always been a huge international boon for us because, like, our system of universities in this country, despite how terribly we treat our primary education system,
mhm.
are the world's envy, and people from all over the world still send their kids to universities in America when they can, especially the prestigious ones. And we are just cutting off our nose to spite our face on that. Like,
Yeah.
it's like that is gonna collapse. Yeah, good luck, all you Tennessee fans. You know what's gonna happen to your university now that it doesn't have any medical program, or
Right, right. I
it's
mean, here in St.
Alabama
Louis,
as well. Bama, you know what? Actually, Alabama has some amazing fucking programs. Medicine also. Like, yeah, I
yeah.
mean, they're not gonna hurt financially as long as football's still a fucking thing and we can continue our idiocracy tumble down into the gutter. But
I guess, like, I don't know how long you can maintain that when people literally are going to be dying. Like, the whole
it's
reason
gonna be a
why.
lot of stresses on the system at the same time. It's gonna throw just monkey wrenches into so many different points in all
Mhm,
these complicated systems.
mhm. Well, and with no prescription for what follows,
Yeah.
it's not like we're gonna destroy the American, healthcare system and replace it with,
You know what?
like,
I
they've
see a
got
way
not.
out of this. I see a way that is just gonna save our bacon on this. And our savior, it's gonna be money. This is
Okay.
just a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
opportunity for vulture capital firms to come in and short term prop up these industries
Mm,
and execute these huge conglomerations and takeovers. And essentially, that's how you create an oligarch. Like, we're going to be removing any sort of restrictions on that in the name of absolute free capitalism. So,
I mean, absolute free capitalism already has been completely thrown out the window. I mean,
well,
like,
not in
it's.
real life, in the name of, I said, in
Oh,
the
sorry, in the
name.
name of fair enough, fair enough.
That is how you're
Mhm.
selling it.
Fair enough.
But it's just a scene to let the kleptocrats come in and
Mm.
kick everyone
Uh,
else out and distribute power amongst a few thousand people.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess, but, like, distribute power over what? Like, because people are going to stop receiving care
The
before these
ashes
takeovers
of
happen.
the dying Rome. Just be fiddling along, baby.
Just be fiddling along the whole way as it burns. Fucking A. Well, so okay, so on this these subsidies, just to return back to
Yes,
that
yes,
to finish
yes.
this.
Please,
So
I'm sorry. I keep
oh,
pulling this
it's
off.
good.
Like,
It's good. No,
tell
no,
me to
no.
shut the fuck up when I derail us next time.
Could you just shut the fuck up?
I would love to if someone would tell me to. Hello, I need some direction over here. What's my motivation right now? Fuck.
So there's basically there's the shrewd calculation, I guess, that Schumer's making that the Republicans are going to need the Republicans can't simultaneously vote in a budget continuance and also approve continued subsidies for the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, right? Like you can't vote to prove you can't do that. It doesn't matter that so much of our healthcare system it in its waning dying days is propped up by it and Medicare. Uh
But you keep saying you can't though, as if those constraints actually mean anything at this point. At this point, we don't know what constraints still exist.
None. But that's what I'm saying is like I feel like so the idea the perception that David Dayen has on this that he talks about basically is there's an opportunity for Schumer to provide Republicans cover by tying the budget continuation to approval for these ACA subsidies. Democrats can get a victory in from this shrewd perspective that Schumer has. Democrats get a victory because they make Republicans vote for these subsidies, but Republicans can say, well, they were holding it captive. They were holding our glorious budget to make sure that our
Well, yeah,
ICE agents can brutalize more people. They were holding that captive behind some subsidies for a failed program that we're going to be trying to get rid of anyways. So,
exactly. They're gonna come along and fucking kneecap in 6 months as it is. So whatever, throw them that bone for the short term.
and fucking Donald Trump has like a $500 million worth of taxpayer money that has already been appropriated for use by Congress that he's still fucking holding on to anyways. So why the fuck would he not do
Yeah.
that for this? Why would he not hold on to the subsidy money? Because that's all it is literally an appropriation of cash. It's not a new labeling of anything. It's not it doesn't involve any new infrastructure. It is a continuance of a program that disseminates money to people to help them afford medical insurance. That's all it is. It's very simple. So all he has to do is
Hmm.
say, "No, that money, that check is in my pocket now," as he's done already
Yeah.
to the tune of half a billion fucking dollars
At the bare minimum,
at the
that
bare
we
minimum.
know of.
Yeah, true, true. That's fair. That's fair. With Hexeth, with Hexeth in his position, how who knows how much of that money has actually been appropriated into weird fucking places with that
Absolutely.
massive military budget.
And I mean that's been a giant Byzantine mess for forever anyway.
Mhm,
There's always been certain amounts of grift and whatnot built into the system. It's unfortunate, and it'd be great if we could work on eliminating shit like that. Now it's going to just become like outright more open season grifting on that. But
mhm, mhm. I mean, it's probably the one thing that either one of the Pauls, either either one of the like either Rand or
I was going to
or
say
his
Iran
dad.
or Rand. Like,
Yeah, either Rand or his dad. It's probably the one thing that they've ever like really had any ground to stand on is we should audit the military very closely and like yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for some funny shit to go on there.
yeah,
Um,
100%. There's a great movie about that kind of on a small scale, Buffalo Soldiers, I think. Joaquin Phoenix and Ed Harris.
Hmm.
Or Ed Harris is freaking glasses and things. It's not a great movie, but it's pretty good and just so some how some crazy military hijinks could go down, but in
Hmm.
a pretty realistic sort of way,
Hmm.
despite the like kind of ridiculous. I don't know. It's an interesting flick. Recommend it. Anyway,
Anyway, I don't know. I was kind of curious what your perspective though was on this because so you've got a situation where Schumer could basically vote again for continuous funding the government instead of forcing a government shutdown, which I think might be a useful rhetorical tool in a lot of ways, to highlight what's actually in the budget right now, what Republicans are actually trying to fund. But Schumer could basically get a weak guarantee on these subsidies for votes on the budget. He's already proven that he can get these votes on a budget for less. As an example, for fucking nothing. And uh, I don't know. So there's a thought that uh Republicans will absolutely jump on this because MAGA has no principles outside of
none
escalation
whatsoever.
and objectification and subjugation of minorities and women and LGBT people. Um, and so they'll absolutely take that trade to fund their government as it is. But I'm not sure. Like I feel like it could turn some people off in Congress that they might actually need to whip up because if you don't call it the ACA, if you call it Obamacare, it suddenly becomes kind of poisonous for these people that are like so rabid right now. They're like, I don't know. What do you think?
Which is so then just like do some stupid political fucking theater, rebrand everything, let that so do that in exchange for making them actually fund the program. They can name it Trump's left nut for all I care.
Hmm.
But yeah, okay. Here's a little investment that you have to make into keeping this game afloat. You need us in this game to continue at least having the illusion of a working government. Give us this. It's a cheap win for you. You get to come out looking like the good guys,
But is it? But is
and
it
it
like?
keeps the economy afloat. Like so,
But
there's
like,
that. It keeps people alive.
is that like? I mean, I guess that's like how Republicans could look at it, but like, I don't know.
It's how they could. It's all they care about is selling it
Yeah,
to their fucking fans, which is
yeah,
all it is. You're advertising to your fucking fan base,
yeah.
and that would just go hunky fucking dory. They're replacing Obamacare with Trump care. Well, hell yeah, put the money into it. Make it better, please. By all means, name it after whatever you want.
But we already know that like that's not the idea. Like
It's not their MO, no.
it's not their MO. Like I
But again,
that
though, if they do kind of want to keep the game afloat, though, if they want to keep the illusion of having an actual government with parties,
but
you gotta let the Washington Generals score every once in a while, at least.
I think what you do is you just do this shit in a separate resolution. This is a separate bill to maintain funding for this program. If you want to vote down healthcare insurance subsidies for millions of people, all right, Republicans, you can do that. The budget is its own thing.
Yeah,
We'll talk about
standalone,
the budget.
absolutely.
We'll talk about the budget, and then when it comes to this particular measure, we're not going to tie these things together. I think tying them together is
100%.
is stupid and is super weak politics. But like Schumer, like man, he
It's an out for them. Like they get to play that their hands are tied because it's tied together, and they had to go vote for it to keep this alive. So
yeah.
what were we supposed to do?
Yeah,
Whoopsie doodles.
exactly. It feels so like whether they take it or leave it, it feels like it's bad because MAGA Republicans, if they decide, okay, we're not going to vote for this because of the inclusion of these subsidies because Obamacare, then they get to just parade around and say, well, Schumer is holding up the budget. Schumer is stopping us from paying government employees. The Democrats, the lovers of big government,
They're
don't
more
want
than
to see.
happy to just stop paying government employees, though. They don't care, and that plays well with the base for the most part,
But
'cause
they
they
but
have no
they
idea what most government employees are and do.
but they swing both ways on it, and they love to talk about paying those government employees when they're talking about ICE agents.
True. I mean, we just gave that agency the 6th largest military budget in the world,
Yeah, like how are we
like
supposed
that.
to give ICE agents their student loan payment money so that they can go pick up grandma out of the back of a Mexican restaurant because she gave her maiden name on her green card application instead of her married name, like,
Yeah.
and throw her out of the country. Like, how are they going to do that
Well, the
shit if
criteria is not that high, buddy. The bar is way lower than that.
it is way
You
lower than.
look like somebody whose name could be that. That'll
I
do.
mean, that's true.
Get in.
They can pick you up for your appearance, for your
That's
location,
it.
for your accent, like
Yeah.
explicitly they can do this shit.
That has explicitly been granted to them. Uh, have you heard the estimates of how many of the people that got taken to the uh, alligator Alcatraz are unaccounted for?
Uh, I've
It's
heard
a
I
ridiculously high percentage from the numbers that I've seen thus far of
I
like,
let's look it up really quick.
yeah,
Esquire. Let's just look at Esquire. How did
yeah,
ICE manage to lose more than 1,000 alligator Alcatraz detainees? Holy shit. That
mm-hmm,
many? At the end of
yeah, bro.
August, the whereabouts of two-thirds of more than 1,800 men detained by Alligator Alcatraz during the month of July could not be determined by the Miami Herald. Around 800 detainees showed no record on ICE's online database. More than 450 listed no location and only instructed the user to call ICE for details. A vague notation that attorneys said could mean that a detainee is still being processed in the middle of a transfer between two sites or about to be deported. That is actually, I'm reading this from Esquire, but that is actually from the
Yeah,
Miami Herald.
gotcha.
So,
Yeah,
wow.
how about that,
That
huh?
I had heard so
That's
I
nifty.
had I had seen, stuff about this individual, this other, like, specific people. I hadn't seen something about, the overall, like, broader numbers. Like, a couple here and there,
Neither did I,
not
and those are shocking fucking numbers.
that is
Like,
crazy. Like, a couple here and there is
like,
almost expected with the carelessness that they do this kinda stuff with. Like, if it was, like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
5,
yeah.
even up to 50, I'd be like, "Well, I mean, these are fucking
In the
morons we're working with
hundreds, I
here."
would
But
still be like,
hundreds,
Jesus Christ,
1,000,
but
and that's just out of one detention center. I am
and
curious what it
that's
looks like in
what they
others.
were able to deduce for this article. That doesn't even
Yeah,
take like the broader number might even be larger than that. That might be
yeah,
an incomplete accounting of the people that they have taken in.
yeah, yeah.
So, like, it's almost impossible to jump to the conclusion that there are people that went in and never came out.
Mm, mm.
Like,
And
as dark as that is, but there's a reason they're calling it fucking what they do, and it's by definition just about a concentration camp. Not about it, fucking is.
mm.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah,
Did you see, Newsom banning, law enforcement from wearing masks?
it did. That is actually fantastic.
I
It's
mean,
some level of accountability. It's not nothing.
like, I know that there's also a problem with the idea of having all your law enforcement in these tidy uniforms and stuff like that. But frankly, you've got two choices. You either got law enforcement that identifies themselves as law enforcement and can be directly identified by their name and by some badge number immediately by a person that might have any complaint, or that if we had a society that actually fucking functioned, maybe some sort of, I don't know, some kudos for a police officer that actually does their fucking job correctly, right? I don't know, who
Yeah.
knows? But instead of kudos for
Instead of like
people,
when you go to a store and you get a thing on your phone to, hey, rate your experience with Kylie or whoever.
like
Like,
it's
hey, rate your experience with Officer Henderson. Okay, great.
that'd be wonderful, right? Like, could you imagine? But in the lapse of in an environment that we actually, exist in, having police officers actually of law enforcement of all varieties be able to be immediately identified by their uniform, as far as what agency they work for, what jurisdiction that operates in. Like, things should say, like, is this a federal officer, is this a state officer? Like, these are important distinctions for people when you
It's the things that
exist in an
separate it from
environment.
being a up and up above the board entity from a outright criminal entity. That's
Right,
like,
right. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I know that you could still, potentially have people that wear, that buy these uniforms or make fakes of these uniforms or whatever. But it's
and doing that all.
better it's better than just, like, literally, if a guy has a bandana over his face and a vest on, then he can say he's ICE and
I just had a
snatch somebody up
horrific
off the
thought.
street.
Yeah, that's literally all it fucking takes. You have numerical numbers. I mean, like a soft enough target, a couple, three people right up. If you got your $50 worth of Timu LARPing gear on, like, I mean, seriously, that's where the bar is on this shit,
Mhm,
and you can get away with it. Like,
mhm.
we know that it's happening. Like, to what degree, I don't think anybody knows certainly yet. I'd be interested to know if possible, but yeah,
I mean,
that's where the bar is. I just had a horrific thought a second ago.
sure, yeah,
Like,
what you got?
I'm not gonna be surprised if that's like a Halloween costume this year, Ice Agent, and I would not be
Yeah.
surprised if that's also used as a Halloween costume and used by either ICE agents or people
Huh.
doing that work. I guarantee you that will happen.
Uh, I don't know. The one thing is, I feel like most of the people that would do that are people on the right, because people on the left, on the extensive left, would find that extremely distasteful to dress up as an ICE agent. So, and people on the right are going to be way too busy dressing up as Charlie Kirk this year.
Ooh, yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you've heard,
That's
but
gonna be
I am Charlie Kirk. Just the the
I
there's it's just
just don't
continuing
understand.
prostration over the memory of this renowned bigot. It's incredible. The AI have you seen the AI videos?
Absolutely.
The AI
God,
videos of
no,
Charlie Kirk and Jesus going to heaven?
I've seen the pictures and shit. Like,
Ugh.
it's oh, I don't even understand it.
My favorite
And
thing
I had
actually.
something I wanted to say
Oh,
about
wait,
exactly
go ahead.
fucking that earlier, and now my brain is seized up because I'm so pissed off about it.
I'm flooding the zone, baby. I'm
Jesus
flooding the
Christ, you're
zone.
flooding the zone.
I'm flooding the zone.